Oof.
Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I'm here with Joe, who's fresh off a movie theater experience, right?
I am with, and I'm armed with a pumpkin spice latte. It's
And
that
COVID.
time of year.
Oh, sorry, too soon. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's do this.
He still has his taste buds, so he's okay, folks.
Yes.
How was it going to a movie theater?
It wasn't bad, It was, like less than half. It was probably about a third capacity in the theater, which is a lot for from the few times I've gone to it. This is probably the fourth or fifth movie I've seen since all of this has happened. So that was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And this was also a lot for Shang Chi. Or Shang Chi.
Shang Chi. Yeah.
Shang Chi.
Because they do the joke where his name was Sean, and he's like, "But my name is actually Shang Chi." Yeah. But this time, instead of goobers, I went bunch of crunch. That was a way better.
Okay.
Way better route for me to go this time. That was, still stuck with cherry Coke, but the bunch of crunch, it was good.
Okay. That is better. That's going to be a better movie experience. Well,
yeah.
I had seen this movie at home in a screening, and I had this feeling when I was watching this film that I'd probably enjoy it more in the theater. So I guess my opening question is, did you enjoy the movie?
Overall, sure. The action set pieces were good. There's that.
Every single person I've talked to who's seen Shang Chi,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. We got to talk about that. Did this change, or what happened? We obviously, I don't know when this. I'll put these things out, but we just recently interviewed Joe Kelly,
Casey.
Oh wait, I got it confused. I think
just like everyone else does. Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. That was sorry, Joe's.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. Joe, who says he'll join us on a live stream, which would be very exciting.
Yeah.
He asked the same question. Like, when did this occur? Because this character has shown up in cartoons and other places, and they've called it Shang Chi. So when did, you're the comic historian, when did this shift?
Well, I think what happened is the joke in the movie is that his name is American English name was Sean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to make that work, Sean to Shang makes more sense. So I think this might have been a conspiracy theory to just make a joke land.
Yikes. Well, on that note, so I watched this movie, and my general takeaway, which I said in another video, was that it was a very by the numbers MCU film. Is your classic kind of MCU origin. I think the thing I didn't mention, and I thought about later, and I think you mentioned, was there turns out that there's a decent amount of exposition in this movie.
Every 10 to 15 minutes, the movie grinds to a screeching halt for exposition.
I never felt like that exposition was terribly necessary.
No, they could have cut at least two of those scenes out, because it's a lot of flashbacks to the same scenes of the mother comforting him and then dying. It's just constant throughout the movie. But yeah, and then just like you were saying, when it's like this paint by numbers kind of movie, I could have wrote this in my sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, every single bit and I'm not saying that it's I'm unique and special. Anyone who's seen all the Marvel movies, you're sitting there, everything that's going to happen before it happens. You're like, oh, this is the scene where this happens. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's the scene where they reveal this thing. Okay. Got it. This is the scene, and then before you even get to the after credit scenes, exactly what those scenes are.
Yeah. No, it was a lack of surprise, particularly, and now I think everything we've said now is up to this point is not a spoiler, unless you're spoiled by the Sean joke, which hurts me a little bit inside. If that was the whole reason that they've done this.
We already filmed it. We should just say that's what it's always been.
Yeah.
Just
The great city of Shanghai. Yeah.
Now someone's got to make a stoner comedy for MTV called Shanghai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. So into spoiler territory. Starting at kind of the end, there are 2 after credit scenes. Mm-hmm. One obviously more tied into kind of what felt like let's bring some MCU faces we recognize into the picture. How did that play in your theater?
No one cared. Really, everyone stayed, and we were all quiet, and then we all left, and everyone was just like softly, like, "It was good." It was good. Yeah, that was it.
This film needs to connect to the other films in the MCU, right? I mean, it needs to bring that feeling like this is important, and you're going to want to see the next step of adventures of this guy, Sean.
I guess, but the problem is the movie. The movie fails to explain why he wasn't there for Endgame.
Yeah.
Because this takes place during the blip.
Right.
And you would think, I was expecting, the one thing I didn't expect was, I thought that they were going to tie that in or give us a reason why I wasn't there, but it didn't happen. So that was weird to me.
It is, yeah, it is strange that I mean, okay, so we see Mark Ruffalo, we see Brie Larson in this film, and they're talking about this energy source of the 10 rings, and kind of, it feels like they're trying to build up either a new threat and or MacGuffin or both. Yeah. But does this accomplish that, or does it that felt very sure. It was nice to see these faces again to remind you that it's part of the greater Marvel universe. But why did it matter? I mean, again, I don't really understood how that helped anything.
Yeah, I really don't understand that, and I don't know. There's a lot. This movie spends a long time, and I mean a long time, apologizing for the Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, why?
I don't get why you don't just move past it. They dwell in that for so long.
And I think most people have largely forgotten and or memory hold. I mean, this movie also had this brief appearance by the Abomination, which is the other film Marvel has kind of tried to get you to forget with Ed Norton. Mm-hmm. But, and that was just I mean, how long did that scene last? Like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
So it felt weird that they wanted to allude to those 2 movies that have largely been forgotten. I mean, Iron Man 3 is, I think, considered the weakest of the 3. And
it's considered that. I kind of think it's better than 2, but that's me. But
yeah, probably so. Although 2 does give Iron Man being in his armor, and you know
that's true.
Gotta love that. But it is it did spend way too much time with this Mandarin subplot, which I couldn't tell whether they were trying to fully apologize or use it for laughs, because the character is kind of this jester now kind of character. I mean, what? I found myself asking at different parts of this movie. It's a pretty paint by numbers origin film with a lot of scenes in there that seem to not have any purpose or point.
Yes, there's a lot of that. There's also, I don't know. There was just so much in the movie, and again, the action set pieces are fine. It's solid. The chemistry with all the characters, like all the acting is pretty fine. There's nothing. There weren't a lot of huge standout moments like, oh, this person stole the show, but there also wasn't a real weak link that like dragged the movie down at all. Like, it was pretty solid.
It felt like a really solid Disney Plus movie.
Yeah. You know, it's I guess, like, is Ben Kingsley like the worst part of it?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, because the Ben Kingsley thing could be easily cut.
Yes.
and it would have no bearing on anything. Yeah. I felt like the surrounding cast was stronger than the lead.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't think it wasn't like strong like the breakout performance in Ant-Man, where it's not like one of those, like you say, one of those characters that just kind of completely consumes the screen presence. It felt more like the surrounding characters were just working very hard to get the movie to work. And our lead would be kind of just bounced around from scene to scene. Did fine, but had to have a lot of explaining and a lot of talking.
Yeah, but
the sister character, what do you think there?
I barely know why she was introduced in this movie. She didn't do enough to make it make sense. Like their relationship, they didn't spend enough time rebuilding that relationship. It was weird how that was handled. And then, again, spoilers for this. You knew, like, you would have to be a brain dead idiot to not know that last stinger at the very end. Like, she's an admitted criminal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And makes it a point, like, I built a criminal enterprise. And then she's the one who's like, oh, I'll go shut down Dad's criminal enterprise. And Shang Chi's just like, that's cool. I trust you doing that alone. And I don't need to be there for that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe these characters are this stupid.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Shang Chi character, is that he just seems kind of led from scene to scene a little bit. We don't see a kind of powerful, aha, I'm smart and capable. I mean, the other than, I thought the action scenes were fairly solid. I think they were doing very different things, or at least bigger things there. And I think if you're going for an action spectacle, you don't get nearly enough of it. But what you do get is pretty solid.
Sure.
How about the kind of this idea of the last battle and our villain and kind of the big climax here? Do you think that was the villain character at all? I mean, this just felt like a CGI cluster at the end.
It was a CGI cluster at the end. The Mandarin is the villain. Also, it's very weird. It was very like, just that whole relationship with his kids and all that, and like it just felt awkward. Like that bit felt very wooden and silly, and I didn't understand why it was done like that. Like there wasn't enough to explain why his wife meant more to him than the lives of his children. And like there needed to be more that, like, which is the problem of making the reason this was a problem is because they tried to make him a sympathetic villain.
Right. Always goes wrong.
And if they didn't do that, and it was just like, no, like my children were, just incidental. This was all about the love of my life. And if you're keeping her away from me, and like, you should have just made him straight up villain if this was the route you were going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe you do the bit where, Shang-Chi has these great memories of his father and they disappeared and he didn't realize. And now he's realized that his father's a monster. And now he has to,
much better.
Like that's way better than what they did here, which was a weird mess and it's confusing and they're fighting each other, but they kind of don't want to. And then, of course, the dad unleashes the stupid CGI monster that like immediately kills him.
Yeah.
But it's done. It's so quick. It's just like, of course, monster comes out. The dad last minute sacrifices himself to save his son. It's like, again, we all could have written this in our sleep. It was it was boring. It was the same stuff that we see all the time.
Which is a shame because I think there's elements of this, like Black Panther took advantage of a very different locale and area to build a new kind of mythology. And I think Shang-Chi had the same opportunity. Shaun of the Dead had the same opportunity to make something really amazing. But unfortunately, they had the same kind of mishmash villain, the same CGI monster in, the same kind of cluster. You had some good action sequences, but it's hard to take it seriously when you've got big CGI monster rampaging around. It felt like it got close and whiffed it continuously.
Yeah, it was also one of those movies that was built heavily on coincidence.
Sure.
It was coincidence after coincidence after coincidence. And it was like, oh, don't worry. You found Ben Kingsley, who just so happens to know how to get to the village before the Mandarin.
Yeah.
I just so happen to have a little pet that knows the way that never revealed itself to the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Like very weird stuff. And then another weird scene was when, Shang Chi and his sister get to the village and then they immediately want to like murder them.
Yeah.
After they said who their mother was, who they all know.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were still like, no, we want to murder you. And then the aunt comes out and goes like, you can't murder them. They're my niece and nephew. And it's like, you could have maybe got that to work if they were like, we can't trust the children of the Mandarin and all that. But they didn't do that. It was
right. They
could have done it in a way that would have worked, and they didn't. It was, just weird choices.
This film shot itself in the foot quite a bit. I didn't think it was the worst MCU film.
Absolutely.
It was definitely not the best. It was kind of this middling origin film, but I don't know, Joe, we've got a live stream to get to.
We do, but yeah, I'd say overall this was more like it falls short of Black Panther. It's probably more like a Doctor Strange.
Okay, there you go.
I think that's kind of a similar movie.
Maybe with the benefit Doctor Strange, I was trying to figure out where to place it as well, and Doctor Strange had the benefit of Benedict Cumberbatch with some screen presence, and this film doesn't really have that.
Yeah,
but it's that same level of kind of plot and exposition, and it felt like a video game with cutscenes to me.
Yeah, and similar to Doctor Strange, a lot of it makes no sense if you think about it for more than like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very good. Well, Joe, thank you very much, and let us know what you think about it in the comments. And we're going to head off to drinking now.
Woo!
Cool.
Excellent.